when I got this shirt, I told two ladies in the back, I was at a gun show, and right next to it was a shirt that said, always carry a knife in case you have to open a birthday present or stab somebody in the throat. And I thought, I want that shirt, but it won't look good in a self-defense situation should I ever have to take somebody out, so I just buy it. Common sense. My name's Thayrone. I am WAAM Radio. I don't know how many people know about WAAM Radio in Ann Arbor, Michigan? People in the public in Ann Arbor. If the guy on your radio is not talking like I am, turn him off. Bullshit. Dead serious about that. We talk about nothing but truth, justice, the American way, and I learned that from the real Superman who used to bend the gun back in a guy's hand. Quite seriously, I'm supposed to talk about radio, and I want to do that in a second, but first of all, I heard somebody mention crony capitalism. There's no such thing. I want you to remember this. It's crony socialism. When you see Michigan Economic Development, BS, that's crony socialism. Gary was up there talking about energy choice. I've been screaming about that for years. The most expensive line item on our profit loss is electricity. On the radio, it's electricity. And I've been screaming about if I could just move the station 45 miles south, I'd be paying 45% less in electricity. So that's very important stuff. I'll get to this next point in a second. I was taking some notes while I was listening over there. If people aren't talking like Janice just talked on the radio, it's BS. I'm going to say something that's God's truth, and I talk like this on the radio. Islam is a satanic cult. Amen. Islam is a satanic cult. And if you're in a benign level of it, where you're a moderate Muslim, which by the way, there's no such thing, that just means they're waiting to be activated. Because when the bad guys come to town, they get real active real fast. Now, there are people like, what's his name, Yudi Jasser, or whatever his name is. I mean, and that's cool that he thinks he's a practicing Muslim, but he's not really. Because if he was a Muslim, he'd probably already have a fatwa death sentence on him. So, again, if people aren't talking like this on the radio, they're not worth listening to. Now, I don't mean everybody, because you might want to dial into your Stairway to Heaven for the 20 billionth time every now and then as you're going through the dial, but when you're listening to anybody that's giving you information or talk radio, it's an education process. So my particular show, I look at as a PhD level course every day for 3 hours. Now back about, it was 2009, my wife and I started talking about doing full-time radio. I was working at the University of Michigan, believe it or not. I was in accounting. I was an accountant for the software licensing department, contract negotiations, things like that. And my wife looked at me in my kitchen one day. This is before we were married. No, it was after. I'm sorry, we weren't married. We were married in 2005. And she poked me in the chest and did that thing that wives do and said, "You're going full-time in a radio." And I said, "How are we going to do that?" Well, next thing I know, we maxed out my 401k, maxed out my credit cards. We're broke, but we're a radio. And we started making it happen. And then in 2011, it's a long twisted story, but we ended up buying a radio station. We bought WAAM Radio in Ann Arbor, Michigan, scraped the crap off the bottom of the shoe, and made it the coolest conservative radio station in America today. And that is not hyperbole. We take great pride in that station being fun, politically correct, crazy cool, but at the same time, straight up Christian-centered conservative radio. And I call it We the Thinking. I came up with that title when Trump started. When Melania came down the stairs with Trump for the first time, I said, "That chick knows how to wear a pantsuit." And Linda agrees. I came up with the party called We the Thinking. We the Thinking. And that's what we are. We the Thinking. And that's who elected Donald Trump. It wasn't a Democrat, it wasn't a Republican. It was We the Thinking. That means a lot of people came over from different Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, whatever, and we elected Donald Trump. That, by the way, was our second chance at taking this country into something other than a king, a pharaoh, a Führer, a communist dictator. That's it. We got one more shot at it. But one of the things we found out, and I talk about quite a bit on the radio, is what was the lesson we learned At 3:45 a.m. on November 9th, what was it? No. What did we learn? Come on. Yo, time is up. The Republican Party is the real enemy. Sorry, it's a fact. Look in the mirror. The Republican Party is the real enemy because we have everything. I said it when we were responsible on talk radio. We're part of this too. Electing a Republican and the Tea parties, electing a majority in Michigan. We have the House, the Senate, the governorship, the Secretary of State, the Attorney General. The chick in Lansing with the blue hair and the pierced face is a frickin' Republican now. At the donut shop in Lansing. Everybody's Republican, and what good has it done for us? So forget Republicans. Forget them. Forget Democrats. It's about we the thinking. I know there's no specific party like that, but we got to quit thinking in terms of Republicans are our friends. And something else real quick. 4 people control the United States of America. Now, I'm not going to ask you who they are, but I'll just tell you. It's Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer. Nobody else controls what happens in America other than those 4 bastards. That's it. Those 4. And if you don't go along with them, you don't get a chairmanship, a committee ship, like Arlenika, that fascist yank Kopic's chairmanship. That's what happens if you don't go along with those 4. So, Trump. He travels at the speed of those 4. And they are the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. So, real quick about talk radio being an education. If you are in your kid's in a public school, you're guilty of child abuse. You're guilty of child abuse. You, for one thing, are putting your kid in a system whereby they could be, I don't wrap it up, I got it. You're guilty of putting them in a situation where they could be shot dead, and there's not a damn thing anybody can do about it. You're putting them in a situation where they're learning that socialism is cool, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. You're putting them in a situation where they learn that the pseudo-religion of climate change is reality, and there's nothing you can do about it. So knock off all the BS about public school this, public school that, Board of Education this, Board of Education that. Get out. Get out and stop supporting that corrupt, communist, social engineering system. Get the hell out. I'm not going to wrap it up. I got one more thing I want to say. Don't come toward me, I'll take you down. No, here's the deal. A lot of you here are grandparents, yes? How many people are grandparents? Raise your hand. All right. I want you to take your grandchildren out. I want you to give them $20 and say, don't listen to your mom and dad. I want you to get a copy of the 5,000-year leap and give it to them and say, don't show your mom and dad this. Put it up under the mattress like we used to do at Playboy in our generation. And it's the new porn now. I mean, if you learn anything about Christ and the Constitution, it's porn, it's a communist. But anyway, I want to wrap it up at that point. I want to say thank you very much for supporting WAAM Radio. My wife and I put that together. As many of you know, my wife just passed, and carrying on her dream. And I'm past with that, and I'm not going to let it down.
Fascinating.